Darryn Peterson from Canton, Ohio. Besides Darryn Stokes, this has been the most requested video that everyone has been asking me to do. And I appreciate when y'all ask me to do these videos because it keeps me on my P's and Q's. Understandably so, why everybody was requesting this video. You know, you have had a lot of great moments in your senior year. I saw you play in person versus AJ in Kentucky. You had a great game there. A month later when you went down to Atlanta and played AJ again, his dad called me and said that was the best high school game he had ever seen, when you gave AJ 61 points. And so I started really studying your tape and really breaking it down. And if there's anybody else who y'all want me to break down, there's anybody else y'all want me to do a scout report on, you see I read the comments. The video gets requested by a lot of people. I'm going to do it. Go in the comments right now and put in there who you want me to do a video on next. I promise I read the comments and I will put your comment on the screen. So go do that right now. You are someone, Darryn, who reminds me of Kobe Bryant. I'm not talking 24 Mamba. I'm talking about the young 8 Mamba. You do not have the back to the basket game, because the game that Kobe grew up watching, the Michael Jordan game, was very post-oriented. The game of today is very face-up oriented. But you move like Kobe. You take tough shots like Kobe. Hit tough shots like Kobe. When you're locked in defensively, and I'm going to really get into that in this video, you defend at a high level like Kobe did. And there are some of Kobe's weaknesses that you also have. You have the ability to be one of the best scorers of this generation. And I have yet to say that about anyone I've done these breakdowns on. There was a real debate about who was going to be number one in this class between you and AJ. There's still a debate about who's going to be the number one overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft. You're going to Kansas next year playing for a Hall of Fame coach in Bill Self. You're going to be in the Big 12. AJ is going to be right there. It's going to be a very competitive conference. And if you correct the things that I talk about in this video, you have a very realistic chance to be Naismith Player of the Year next year, Wooden Player of the Year next year, and potentially go on and can be the number one pick in the NBA draft. I'm going to go into detail about your offense. I'm going to go into detail about your playmaking. I'm going to go into detail about you being a primary ball handler. I'm going to go into detail about your turnovers. I'm going to go into detail about your defense. Please take everything I say with a level of seriousness, because as I studied you, I saw that your father played. I saw that your brother played football in Wisconsin. I saw that you were followers of Christ, your family, as well as yourself, which is something that I am as well. You know that my words are never coming off as trying to hurt you. I only want to get you better, because that's what God has assigned me to do in this kingdom, is to help build young men through the game of basketball. Which is another reason for those of y'all that would like to get personal coaching from me, and you know I'm not going to be able to do a breakdown on you, or you're not in Indianapolis, Indiana. I have started a YouTube membership called Serious Hoopers Only. I'm constantly watching stuff on YouTube, constantly making my own content, and things that I share with the players locally or players I know personally, the players I do these videos on, to help them get better. But I want to help you get better as well. So if you are someone that's a real serious hooper, click the link in the description right now and sign up for Serious Hoopers Only. Darryn, you ain't got to sign up, because I'm about to give you all the sauce right now.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
I was at this game right here when you played AJ in Utah Prep, and you have an innate ability of scoring that can be trained and can be taught, but the mental capacity and how you get after things is just something that you rarely see in high school kids. That red line going down the middle of the floor, that is the midline. As you can see, everybody is nearly at the left of the midline. So you should be going to the right side, surveying that open area of the floor, which you decide to do. A ball screen comes. Now, if I was you, I would have loved for you to center and get to where I call the red zone, the middle of the floor, and pull up for a 23-foot jump shot. We're going to talk about your shooting a little bit later. But you don't do that. You look to get to the basket. Here you are, completely trapped, and the right play would be for you to get that corner skip pass to Mozzie, which is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. You have nowhere to go, but what do? You get creative, split, and knock this down. That is Kobe Bryant-esque, the innate ability to put the ball in the basket. I love how you consistently put pressure on the rim. This is a play that y'all run a lot. As soon as you get it, you immediately split again and finish at the basket. Most guys are scared to put pressure on the rim, but this is something you're always reading and looking for. Right here, as a primary ball handler, you're reading that low man. You did a phenomenal job doing that. You see he's out over there to that right pinch post area. Little hezzy, get to the paint, left hand finish. All elite scorers at the college level put constant pressure on the rim. So if you want to lead the nation in scoring next year when you're at Kansas, you got to continue to do that. I love what you do when you come off of ball screens. You do this little hop. All young players need to pay attention to that. That hop gets you on the balls of your feet, puts your defender on their heels, and you get to survey the floor and read it. You go into a crossover, AJ reaches, but the right play should be to pass to your teammate at the top of the key. In college and NBA, that's what you need to do. But right here in high school, you do what you want to do. Right now in high school, things are easy. Things are light. Like I said, you're able to do whatever you want to do, and this has developed some bad habits with you. That last play showed the bad habit. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but this one is a good thing you did, but we're going to see a bad clip of this as well. Ball screen's there. If I was you, I'd have came going down to the right side, but you decide not to do that. You push cross, reject the ball screen, and this puts your defender's outside foot completely flat. Since his foot is flat, he's not able to move. You pull up, 3. Your ball screen reads have to get better. Like I said, man, when you come off the ball screen, the pass usually is that cross corner skip. That pass, the pocket pass and teeth of the defense usually isn't there, and you got to be able to read that and make that cross skip. You do the same thing you did on the last play, reject the ball screen to a push cross going to the left. I would love for you to do a step back and pull up at that left wing, but you decided not to do that. You drove into the teeth of the defense, and then you turn the ball over. The thing about your mistakes, they aren't things that you aren't capable of. You just aren't making the right reads. What I just asked you to do on the other end, you just did right here. But you decide on the other end to turn the ball over instead of shooting that wide open 3. You have to understand that when you get to the Big 12, when you get to the NBA, you just can't do what you want to do. You have to do what the defense is allowing you to do and read the defense at an exceptionally high level. I love this play that y'all run right here. You throw the ball to the top of the key for the out of bounds. You get a great screen from Mozzie. At the NBA level, you got to sprint to that right wing, and that's a pull-up 3. You got to knock that down, catch and shoot 3. You don't do that because it's high school. Do what you want to do. You know that screen's coming, so you're automatically on your left foot going that way. Against an elite defender, that's going to be a tail. This is a bad defender. Look, he's on his heels. He's dead in the water. You get your shoulders to that guy's hip, dunk. Because of the offensive autonomy you've had in high school, the offensive freedom, like I said, has led to bad habits. You do choreographed moves. You don't read the defenders. You don't read the defense. You have guys beat, and then you add another move or a third move, and you end up getting your shot blocked or putting yourself in a bad predicament to take a tough contested shot. Start reading the defense. Start sizing up and seeing the open areas of the floor. There's no reason to rush. You are an elite scorer, so you're going to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. Here you are going up against AJ, who's an elite defender, and you have him beat. Once you cross and go back to the left, that should have been a pull-up jump shot. You go right back to where he is and get your shot contested. Because you do these choreographed moves and you predetermine where you're going to go, it leads to you being careless with the ball. You had great low post defense right there. We're going to talk about your defense a little bit later, so remember that clip. But here you are being the point guard, getting to the red zone, as I call it. This is your first year playing point guard. I appreciate the fact that you took on that challenge. So it shows the type of player that you are. You go to the right side and no one's over there. Nothing's over there. So you reset, get it back to the red zone. You come back and you get the ball again, and this time you're going to use that ball screen, and that green arrow, that's where you should have went. That red arrow, that's where you ended up going. That red arrow, that's a dead man's land. That's a perfect place to trap for any great defense. So what happens to you? Turnover. Given what Bill Self has said about you and the way the team's going to be assembled next year, you're going to have a high usage rate of at least 30%. If you are a guy who's going to have a 30% or higher usage rate, you have to take care of the ball. Dribbling to these coffin corners, making these predetermined reads, rushing, not reading the defense, not extending traps out to the half court to create more spacing as a primary ball handler is going to be something that's going to be a massive issue for you and something that NBA scouts are going to frown upon. Although I look at you as more of a shooting guard when you get to the NBA level, the way the NBA is right now, point guards and shooting guards are almost combos, and you're going to have to make a lot of decisions with the ball, so your basketball IQ has to increase right now. Here you got a quick ball screen, you're immediately trying to turn the corner. You didn't even get the defense a chance to adjust or give your guy a chance to roll to the basket. You should be reading the low man. When you finally do read the low man, it's too late. He's already in position for that steal. Where should the pass have went? Cross, corner, skip. Cross, skip, cross, skip, cross, skip. That cross skip is a play you have to make. That's a read you have to make. Study Luka. He's a master at it. And I think I understand what's going on. I watched you play in person. You're not as confident in your prolific prep teammates as everyone else might have been because you play with them all the time and they can't make plays like you can. But you gotta give them a chance, especially once you get to the college or NBA levels. Here you are, you got this guy beat going to the left. Your head is down on the floor. You're looking at the ball. You should be reading the defense. You go right to the teeth of the defense and you're triple teamed. This pass has to go to your teammate that's in the corner. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He misses the shot, he misses the shot. But what do? Turnover. Here you are in the right slot, hit him with an in and out to get to the right side to drive to the basket. Where are you going? There's 4 guys right there. No one's open. There's no driving lanes. Get to the center of the red zone and reset the defense. But no, you drive into 3 defenders again, and instead of throwing the wide open cross skip, you throw it to the guy that's above the basket, that's the defender right in front of him. You're going to play higher levels of basketball with better players, so you won't have to force these passes, nor we have to worry about if you pass it to this guy, will he catch it and or hit the shot. But you got to start working on this stuff now. You're going up to Lawrence, Kansas. You got all summer to get ready. Anything y'all gonna be doing in the preseason, think about these things that you're doing, because right now you're a turnover machine. When I watched you play in person, the biggest thing that was Kobe Bryant-esque to me was your ability to shoot the ball, especially in pull-up situations. Right here, you size this guy up, you see he's giving you way too much space, and you pull up right there, bang. The biggest flaw I see in your jump shot right now, in your shot mechanics, is sometimes you don't follow all the way through. You short arm the jump shot. This is a great example right here. I would love for you to ask your guy to set a left ball screen so you can go over there and pull up to the left side, but you love that between push cross, getting back to that area, and you short armed it, you didn't follow all the way through. This jump shot, you're really gonna be able to see it. Every player that I train, I tell them this. You can do everything wrong in your jump shot mechanics, but if you follow through completely and hold it, your shot always has a chance. For those of y'all that want more basketball personalized tips from me, join our YouTube membership, Serious Hoopers Only, link in the description. I love this out of bounds play. Your guy's gonna pop out, you're gonna throw him the ball, you're gonna get a screen, and you're gonna pop to the corner. This is a wide open jump shot, but you short armed it. That's why I didn't go in. Being 6'5", 6'6", you're gonna take contested shots. That's a part of being a shooting guard at the NBA level. That's what Kobe made a living off of, taking contested shots. But you got to own your landing space. Same thing I told Darryn Stokes. You got to shoot the same way every single time. That's your jump shot. Own that shot. Listen to Bean talk about it.
The shot that really matters is a pull-up shot, because it all comes back to that, right? And so you can do all these moves beforehand. They don't matter. Eventually you're gonna get to a spot you're gonna raise up and shoot. So doing that shot thousands of times got me so comfortable with the shot that I could shoot that shot anytime. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you shoot a shot thousands of times, I can change the trajectory anytime I want. I can flatten it out anytime I want. You can be in my face, it's not gonna make a difference because it's on autopilot.
It's on autopilot.
You know what I'm saying? So like no matter what happens and transpires here, whether it's a jab step or a crossover or a double, it doesn't matter, because when I get to that spot and I raise up and shoot, I've done it thousands of times. That's in the bottom of the barrel.
Unlike most players your age, you have a great shooting form. You have great balance. Your feet are up under you. I would love for that right foot to come back just a little bit more, but if you're comfortable with that, as good of a shooter as you are, I wouldn't change that. Please get the ball up a little bit faster so you can get your shot off faster versus these elite defenders. But when you hold that follow through, bottoms. One of the best things about your shooting right now, too, is the diversity of the shots you hit. You are an equal opportunity shot maker. You don't discriminate against no shot, whether it's catch and shoot, whether it's a transition three, whether you're coming off a ball screen, whether you're walking a guy down and your team needs this shot in the Chipotle Nationals to put y'all up to take y'all to the next game. You are an elite shot maker. Do not lose that.
Receive the pass for the shoot. Peterson launches. Oh!
I'm a defensive coach by nature. It's what I really specialize in. So I'm going to rip into your defense a little bit. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just keeping it all the way real with you. I love that this little scoop up thing that you do. I've been seeing a lot of young players do that. I love that you're trying to distract the ball handler. Here you are riding the ball handler's hip. He smack you in the face. You're forcing him to get to the top of the ball screener's foot, which is where you want to go, which is great. You get skinny going over the top of that screen. Always go over screens, because look at the screener's reaction. He don't want that contact. You get skinny, forces the ball handler out. He goes right to the teeth of the defense. You're a great on-ball defender. And like I said earlier about your offense, most of your mistakes aren't things you aren't capable of. It's just things that you don't decide to do. Right here, this is lazy defense. The ball is all the way on the other side of the court. You should be at the nail in help position. If you were at that position, this dude wouldn't have been able to pop out to get this pass. You would have blew the play up. But because you're essentially in no man's land, because you're not even in deny position on Cayenne, they're able to get into their offense. Cayenne runs to the other side of the floor. You're not sticking to him, even though he is a catch and shoot player at this point in his development. You're all the way behind him. And look at your foot. You take a step back. That's a T-step. Deion Sanders just went off on Asante Samuel about that, being a defensive back. You trying to run forward, you don't ever step backwards. I don't know what ball screen coverage y'all are in, but clearly you were trying to keep him from going past your left foot. What does he do anyway? Rips, goes right past your left foot, Euro, that makes his mama happy. Your effort on ball screen defense is inconsistent. You know what to do, just a lot of times you don't do it. You set yourself entirely too low. You're too slow coming off these screens, which allows guys to get wide open runners and pull up jump shots. This is something that I know that you have been taught, because the first clip we showed of your defense, you played exceptional ball screen defense. Look at you right here. You're entirely too low. Your foot should be on top of Nate Ament's foot. You should be chasing this guy as he's coming around this screen. He gets a wide open pull up 17-foot jump shot, and you're just looking at him. At this point, this has to be a rear view contest. It's the same thing I told Reece Shepard. It's the same thing I told Rob Dillingham. If you are going to be an NBA guard, you have to be able to rear view contest. If not, you are going to get eaten alive when it comes to screens. You have proven that you can play great ball screen defense, but you consistently get beat by guys that don't have NBA speed or NBA athleticism. They consistently get by you. They put you in hostage situations. They're getting uncontested pull-up jump shots with even sometimes a semi-rear view contest. You got to get better at moving when the ball moves. Look at this play right here. What are you staring at? You know where the ball is going. You need to move when the ball moves. Move to that shooter, because if you did that with your length and your athleticism, this is a block. Look how close you are to the ball. But because you hesitated, this goes from a block to a contested shot. Fortunately, he missed. As I was breaking down your tape, I noticed this is a habit with you. These slow stunt and recovers, the hesitation on these closeouts. You consistently do this, and it leads to people splashing threes right in your face. You need to start having fly-by closeouts. The way the game has been taught now, they have taught y'all to not shoot mid-range shots. So if you run anybody off the three-point line, they're gonna pull up for a mid-range shot. You have lazy closeouts. You have lazy tendencies. And this play right here is a great example. The ball's in the middle of the floor, so you should be starting to rotate to the midline. Once the ball gets passed over to his right wing, you should be at the midline. You should not be over there holding his hand. I'm not going to say what I used to say, but there's no reason for you to be hugged up on your man like that. You need to be in help position. That's basic shell defense. Once that ball gets back to your slot, you need to be coming up and denying and blowing up any handoff, any pass, whatever they're doing. You sitting back there chilling. This gets this dude a wide open three in your mouth. And like I've been saying the entire scouting report, your mistakes aren't things that you aren't capable of doing. It's just a matter if you want to do it or not. Here you are guarding Nate Ament, a top 5 player in y'all class. He has a height advantage on you, and you're making it exceptionally difficult for him to get this entry pass. He has to get the ball where he doesn't want to get it. You're forcing him to be outside of the paint. Nate Ament isn't really skilled off the bounce like that. He goes to the teeth of the defense. He immediately has to pick the ball up to look to see if he has any help. When he finally does give the ball up, you're able to locate the ball while still tagging him. The ball gets over to the opposite side. You get over to the midline while still covering Nate Ament. Ball starts coming back to your side. You 3-quarter him. You get around him because what you want to do in this situation is force the most difficult pass that you possibly can for that guard, which is over the top. You know you have help over the top. Y'all trap Nate Ament in the short corner. He turns the ball over. When you get to Kansas, you're going to be the best player on the team. So you're probably going to have to guard the best player. When you get in the NBA, you're probably going to have to be the point of attack on defense. You got to stay disciplined on shot fakes. You got to be a second guy to leave the floor. You got to put constant pressure on the defender, and nobody should be beating you off the dribble like this when you can't even finish at the rim. Extremely lazy. You can't be taking these risks and passing lanes and giving up easy drives and wide open jump shots. Perfect defense right here. I love what you do. You force him into the teeth of the defense when he gets the ball. Obviously, he can't come back to the side that you just came from. So he is forced to go to his weak hand, his left hand. You let him get his shoulder down into your stomach. He exposes the ball. You have your right foot outside of him, and you do what Drew Holiday has made a living doing. Getting that steal with that outside hand. You can do this to anybody. So focus on mastering this skill. The defensive principles have been taught to you. You just don't consistently put in the same effort all the time. Right here, you let this guy squeeze through. Fortunately, Mozzie was on the back end for that steal. Here, you're in a situation I like to call cover 2. You got to cover 2 guys on the weak side. One guy is driving, one guy is rolling, and another guy is in the corner. You make the right read, you're able to get the steal, you're able to go all the way to the other end and finish for a pick 6. You're going to be in another cover 2 situation where this guy is possibly looking to throw that corner skip, but as you should be able to see out of the corner of your eye, if you were down in a defensive position, this dude's about to set a screen on you. So that means that pass probably going up top, but you don't recognize it until the ball was halfway to him. You get slammed and he gets a wide open 3. You're going to be on the backside in a cover 2 situation a lot. You got to be a lot more aware than this. And just like with Kobe, you struggle with small guards. When I was breaking down your tape, this dude was eating you alive. His name is Jalen Olsen Patterson. He got one offer going to Tulsa. I don't know what y'all college coaches is looking at, because if he can cook Darryn Peterson, he can cook anybody. You finally got hip to what he was doing, and you forced him into the teeth of the defense and let the backline guys take care of it. But on the perimeter, he was doing whatever he wanted with you. And this is something Kobe struggled with as well. He talks about how difficult it is handling Allen Iverson. That was one of his biggest foes. You have to learn how to guard smaller players because you're going to be matched up on them as the point of attack on defense. You can be the point of attack. You can be a mid-level defender. You can be a great post defender, but you got to dedicate yourself to that aspect of the game. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.
It's the Sunday.